The soul is not in the body is in the soul. When you first hear that, it sounds like a riddle, but what it's actually telling us is that your physical world is sitting inside the container of who you believe you are. If we translate that to manifesting your dream life, it means that your house, your career, and your relationships aren't things you go out and get. They are things that decorate the identity you currently hold. Most of us spend our lives trying to change the decorations without ever realizing we're the ones holding the blueprint. We want the dream life, but we're trying to build it while staying the exact same person who doesn't have it yet. You might find yourself stuck in a loop where you set a big goal, feel fired up for 3 days, and then wake up on day 4 feeling like the old you again, tired, doubting, and looking at your bank account or your empty living room as proof that nothing is working. We chase techniques and try to force outcomes, but it feels like running on a treadmill. Plenty of effort, but you're still in the same room. Welcome back to the channel. This is the place where we bridge the gap between the science of your brain and the power of your soul. Today we're focusing on one thing that changes everything: identity shifting. Manifesting your dream life is essentially the process of closing the gap between who you are being now and who you would be if you already had everything you desired. Think of it like a radio. Your dream life is a specific station, say 101.5 FM. If you are currently tuned to 98.2, you can't hear the music of your dreams, no matter how much you want to. Identity shifting is simply the act of reaching out and turning the dial so your internal signal matches the broadcast you want to receive. If dream life manifestation is the destination, identity shifting is the GPS system that actually places you on the right road. It is the fundamental who behind the what. To understand this deeply, think of your identity like a thermostat. If your identity is set to, I am a person who struggles, and you suddenly manifest a bunch of money or a great partner, your internal thermostat is going to freak out because the room is getting too hot for your settings. You will subconsciously find a way to kick on the AC through self-sabotage or procrastination just to get back to the temperature of struggle that feels like home. Identity shifting isn't about faking it until you make it. It's about deciding that the version of you who has the dream life is the real you, and the current version is just an old costume you've outgrown. Imagine an actor who stays in character even when the cameras aren't rolling. They eat, walk, and talk like the character until the line between the person and the role disappears. Have you ever noticed how you act differently when you're wearing a tailored suit or a beautiful dress compared to when you're in 3-day-old sweatpants? You carry yourself differently, you speak with more authority, and people respond to that new signal. That's a micro shift in identity. Now imagine applying that to every area of your life. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you don't wait for the profit to act like a leader. You start making decisions as a leader today. If you want to be in a healthy, loving relationship, you stop identifying as the person who always gets ghosted and start identifying as the person who is inherently cherished. From a neuroscience perspective, your identity is just a collection of very well-paved neural pathways. Your brain is a prediction machine. It looks at your past to decide what is likely to happen today so it can save energy. This happens in your Reticular Activating System, or RAS. This is the filter in your brain that decides what information is important enough to let into your conscious mind. When you shift your identity, you are literally giving your RAS a new set of instructions. If you identify as lucky, your brain starts highlighting opportunities that it previously ignored. It's like when you decide you want a specific car, and suddenly you see that car on every street corner. The cars were always there. Your filter just finally let them in. Spiritually, this is the ultimate act of faith. It's the assumption that what you seek is already yours. It's moving from asking for a dream to embodying the dream. When you surrender the old version of yourself, you're telling the universe that you trust the new vision more than your current physical senses. It's about having the integrity to stay true to your inner state, even when the outer world hasn't caught up yet. This is a journey that's even better when shared. So if you're finding value in this, I'd love for you to subscribe and hit that like button. We're building a community of people who are committed to manifesting their dream lives by doing the deep, transformative inner work together. And we'd love to have your energy in the mix. To start shifting your identity practically, you need to conduct an identity audit. Look at a goal you have. Maybe it's a specific career milestone. Ask yourself, how does the version of me who already has this think about their time? How do they treat their body? What kind of boundaries do they have? Pick one tiny behavior that the future you does and start doing it today. If the future you wakes up at 7 a.m. and drinks a glass of water, do that. You are sending a signal to your nervous system that the future is happening now. You are stacking evidence for your new identity. Let's try a quick exercise together right now. Close your eyes if it's safe to do so. Take a deep breath. I want you to step into a scene where your dream is already a reality. Don't look at it from the outside. Look through your own eyes. Who are you in this moment? Notice the way your shoulders feel. Are they more relaxed? Notice the tone of your voice. Is it more confident? Feel the "I've made it" sensation in your chest. Now, repeat this phrase internally. I am the person for whom this is normal. Breathe that in. This isn't a miracle. It's just who you are now. Open your eyes. Now, another powerful way to shift your identity is through somatic anchoring, or what I like to call physical evidence. Remember, your brain is a prediction machine that is constantly scanning your body for clues about who you are. If you are trying to think like a millionaire, but your body is physically hunched over in a survival posture, shoulders tight, breath shallow, and eyes darting, your brain will always believe the body over the visualization. To shift your identity somatically, you have to literally change the physical container the soul sits in. Start by adopting a quantum wardrobe or a power posture before you make a single decision. This isn't just about clothes. It's about choosing a physical state that signals to your nervous system that it is safe to be successful. When you stand tall, breathe deeply into your belly and move with a sense of slow time, the way a person who has nowhere to rush and nothing to prove moves. You are bypassing the thinking mind and speaking directly to your reticular activating system. You are telling your brain, the struggle is over. We are now the person who has arrived. This works because of the feedback loop between your physiology and your identity. If you want to shift into a version of you that is cherished and loved, you don't just wait for a partner to show up. You start treating your own body as a temple today. You prepare your meals with the care of someone who is deeply
Conduct an
valued.
identity audit.
You
Look at a
choose
specific
movement that
career
feels like a
milestone. Ask
celebration
yourself,
rather than a
how does the
punishment.
version
This is
of
body
me who
first
already
manifestation.
has this
When you
think about
physically
their
show your nervous
time?
system that it
How
is
do
no
they
longer
treat
in a
their
state of
body?
lack or survival, the internal thermostat stops fighting you. You aren't just imagining a new station. You are physically building the antenna to receive it. It's the difference between wishing you were a master and actually holding the posture of one. As you move through the world in this new physical frequency, you'll notice that your decisions naturally start to align with that state, because your brain finally has the physical evidence it needs to believe the new story you're telling. As you practice this, watch out for 3 common mistakes that act like frequency inhibitors, silently pulling you back into the old signal. The first is the seductive trap of looking for external proof to validate your shift. If you perform your morning alignment and then immediately check your bank account or your notifications to see if anything has changed, you've just stepped right back into the skin of the person who lacks. By looking for evidence, you are confirming to your brain that the thing isn't here yet. To avoid this, you must treat your inner conviction as the only evidence you need, the evidence of things not seen. When you master this, you feel a sense of profound immunity. You can look at an empty inbox or a low balance, and it no longer has the power to trigger you. You feel like an actor who knows the script has a happy ending, so the current scene doesn't worry you because the wrap is already guaranteed. The second mistake is trying to renovate the whole building at once. We often get identity greed and try to change our health, wealth, and relationships in a single afternoon, but this sends your nervous system into a state of red alert. Your brain perceives this massive change as a threat to your survival and will kick on the internal AC to freeze your progress and keep you safe in the old, familiar struggle. Instead, focus on mastering one anchor identity at a time. Instead of trying to rebuild the entire identity all at once, focus on one anchor identity at a time. Commit to embodying that one specific version of you for at least 2 weeks before you even think about adding another layer. This 14-day window allows your neural pathways to actually pave over the old ones, moving the shift from a try-on to a permanent integration. This feels like steady, grounded momentum. Instead of the frantic exhaustion of a total makeover, you feel the quiet confidence of a master builder who knows that a solid foundation is what allows the skyscraper to eventually touch the clouds. Finally, don't make an enemy out of your old self when it makes a guest appearance. The moment you feel doubt and start judging yourself for it, you are actually feeding the old neural pathway. Shame is just a heavy winter coat that keeps you stuck in the cold. When you beat yourself up for having a low vibe thought, you are identifying as a person who is failing at manifesting, which is just another version of the old you. When an old thought pops up, treat it like a pop-up ad on a computer. You don't get angry at the screen, you just click the X and go back to your work. Simply label it as an old program and pivot. This feels like grace and sovereignty. You move from being a victim of your mind to being the observer of it. There is a lightness in realizing that a single thought can't break your reality, and that detachment is exactly what allows the new identity to finally take root. Before we go, I'd love to hear from you. In the comments below, write the words new identity, followed by one word that describes the identity you are stepping into today, like new identity, abundance, or new identity, peace. Let's anchor this intention together. Remember, identity shifting is the master key to quantum manifestation. By changing the who, you automatically change the how and the what, aligning yourself with a reality that doesn't just match your goals, but far exceeds them. You are no longer chasing your dream life or pleading with the universe for a breakthrough. You are radiating that frequency from the inside out until your physical world has no choice but to reorganize itself around your new signal. This is how you bridge the gap to a life that exists beyond your wildest dreams, a reality filled with opportunities you can't even imagine yet, because they require the eyes of the person who has already arrived. You aren't becoming someone new, you are finally returning to the highest version of yourself that was always meant to lead this extraordinary existence. Step into that version of you today, because the world is waiting for your broadcast, and the life you once thought was impossible is ready to become your new normal. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to join our community of people